Hey, Josephina. How you doing? Good. Welcome, Joe.
Hi, Wade.
Hi,
Hi,
Emily.
Wade. Hi.
Hi, Wade.
Hey, Javern. How are you? Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Good. Afternoon or morning, depending on where you are. It's afternoon here in North Carolina. We have quite a few people signed up, so there should be other people coming in. So we're going to just hang out a minute and give them a chance to get in. All right, got a couple of things to set up here. Let me check in where everybody's from while we're waiting. Javern, where are you from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Okay, I used to live in Grapevine, Texas, not too far away. Hi, Emily, where are you?
I'm from California,
California.
Southern California.
It's still morning there then.
Yes, about 10:30.
Okay, Joe?
Michigan.
Michigan, okay. Always have somebody from Michigan. Okay, great. Got some other people coming in. Hey. Morning, Beth, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right,
Okay,
great,
all
welcome.
right, great, welcome.
Picking up an echo there. And Valerie, can you hear me? Okay, there's Valerie, good. And Cease, welcome back.
Wait, I'm going to use my computer to get online, and then I can use the Apple to follow you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Mhm.
Sounds good, all right. Here comes Pam. Hey, Pam, welcome back. Okay, while we're waiting for some other people to come in, I'm going to go ahead and get some housekeeping out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You should be able to see my slides at this point. And I'm moving your pictures over to my other monitor. I can see you over here. That's good. And this over here. Right. Emily made it back.
Yes, I'm back.
Good. All right. All right, we're probably going to have some more people coming in, but it is 5 minutes in, and we usually allow the first 4 to 5 minutes to give people a chance to come over from any other classes and to get their technology working. But this is a big class and a fairly tough class. So I want to go ahead and get started. So we do have plenty of time. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. And I will probably have to remute several times during the course of the class whenever I hear background noise or echoes or anything. So do check and see if you're muted before you ask your questions, make your comments. If you are, just go ahead and unmute. You don't have to raise your hand or anything, just unmute and ask away. And I'm also opening the chat. So if you are having any issues with your microphone, the chat will now be open. John from our Get Set Up TA team is here to help monitor the chat and help manage the class. Thanks for joining us, John. And with that, I think we are ready to start. So let me go ahead and officially start the class. So this is Apple iCloud Basics. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoy the class. My name is Wade Yarbrough, and just briefly about me, I was born and raised in a small town called Mason, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis, Tennessee. I got my PhD in psychology, but had a minor in computer science in school, so I've always kind of been flipping back and forth between psychology and computer science. Spent most of my career designing, installing, and training users on hospital information systems. And what I love about teaching at Get Set Up is the fact that I'm teaching people that are in the class because they're interested in the class, not because their employer made them come to the class. And that's what we try to do at Get Set Up, is to create a situation where you can take classes that you're interested in along with other people that are interested in that same topic. You can see and interact with them, which is why we do like for you to turn your cameras on so you can see the other folks. Not required, but it gives us more of a close feeling. The session is being recorded, and anyone that takes the class can request a copy of that recording. Just send an email to help@getsetup.io. I'm going to put that. Okay, John beat me to it. That is now in the chat. John put that in there. So if you don't have that in your email contacts, go ahead and copy that email address. At the end of class, during the closing, I'll talk about some other ways why you might want to use that email again. We are live streaming the class as well, so I do want to welcome anyone joining us from the live stream. Thanks for joining us, and hope you enjoy the class as well. But I do want to remind you that the only way to get that full Get Set Up experience is to go to our website and sign up for the class. And that way you can interact with the other learners and ask questions of the guide. And finally, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any of the products that we train on. We are purely trainers. So the agenda for today is we're going to start out at a fairly high, broad level and just talk about cloud storage in general. And then we'll drill down to iCloud, and we'll talk about the component parts of iCloud and how they work together. You'll learn how to back up devices using iCloud, how to move apps and data into iCloud, and how to access your iCloud data from multiple different types of devices. So we're going to start with kind of a general overview, as I mentioned, on cloud storage. And a lot of you are probably like me, and you can remember when all we had was a computer with a monitor. And if you created a document here on your computer, it was saved on the C drive on your computer. If you needed to get a copy off of there for some reason to give to someone, when I started, it was floppy disk. It evolved up to rigid disk, and then CDs and DVDs, and now we mostly use USB drives. But you still were required to either use this device or insert something into the device. We were tied to this device. What the cloud has done is it's now freed us from this device. I can store my files in the cloud, which makes them available to other devices. And we'll talk a lot about why that's so important. But the cloud's not really the cloud. What the cloud is, it's a huge data center owned by whoever is providing your cloud storage solution. So if I save something here, it goes over the internet to their data center into one of their disk drives, and that's where it's living. There are four predominant cloud storage vendors in North America, at least. Dropbox was one of the original pioneers of this area. And you've probably heard of Dropbox if you haven't used Dropbox. Now Google has its own cloud storage system. It's called Google Drive. Microsoft has OneDrive, and Apple has iCloud Drive. So they all do similar things, but they handle it somewhat differently. We do have classes on all four of these, in fact. So if you want to drill down deeper into all of those, we have a class for each one. Because you can use more than one. I actually use all four of these. So you don't have to pick one and use that one exclusively. You can use different ones for different purposes. So the benefits of cloud storage. There's three primary benefits of cloud storage. One is you can save storage space on your device. So if I'm on my laptop here that may have a smaller hard drive than my desktop, I can, instead of storing all my files on my laptop, I can store them on the cloud, freeing up lots of space, giving me essentially unlimited space. That's also true on my phone, which space is even more of a premium than on a laptop or a desktop. So that's the first big advantage. You can share and collaborate on documents. If I put my document in the cloud, I can give you access to it and I can give someone else access to it. We can all three be working on the same document at the same time, making changes and updates, something that's not possible without the cloud. And we'll talk about how that works as well. And you can access your data from virtually anywhere. If I create a document here on my laptop, but I create it in the cloud, I can then go over to my desktop, access, change the document. Later on in the day, I'm off somewhere. I can get to it from my phone, access it, edit it. So it gives me access to my data from virtually anywhere. In fact, I can go to a hotel or maybe to my friend's house, go to their PC and get to my data through a web browser. So again, you can pretty much get to your data almost anywhere you are, as long as you've got some type of a device that can get to the internet, which is the key piece. I'm going from any of these devices to my data via the internet. Questions about this background material? Does that make sense? Can I answer questions for anyone? Okay, let's keep going. And I'm going to be fairly generic early on. I'm going to get in and demonstrate all these different things we're talking about. So at this point, it's kind of conceptual, but it'll become much more concrete as I go through some examples. Now, there's two terms we need to talk about and be very clear on, because this is where some people get in trouble. One is backing up, and you should be pretty familiar with backing up. We've been doing that forever. Even when I just had this PC with the associated hard disk. And a backup is taking a point-in-time copy of your files and putting them somewhere for safe storage. Back in the olden days, typically would back up onto a CD or DVD and then put that in a safe place. If something happened, my hard drive crashed, I lost my laptop, I could go and get that backup copy and restore it to my device. So you don't change that copy once you take the copy. It's just sitting there waiting in case you need it. Okay, think you're done. Okay. Now, syncing is similar, but it's critically different. When you're syncing, any change you make, in addition, change or deletion that you make from any device is reflected on all the devices. Thank you, darling. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. So I sit down here on my laptop and I write a letter I'm gonna print out and mail to somebody. And if I'm storing it on a syncing cloud service, I'm actually putting it here. I'm working on it up here. This is where that file lives. Later on, I could come over and do some more work on it from my desktop, add some more information. I could even access it and add more information from my phone. That's the big advantage. I can edit it from any device I've got. Where people get confused, though, is they'll say, well, I don't need that on my laptop. It's in the cloud. So they delete it from their laptop. If I delete this file from anywhere, it's gone from everywhere, because there's not a copy on each device. There's conceptually one copy and it lives here. And that's where people get confused and get in trouble. They confuse backup with syncing. Questions about that? This is kind of a difficult concept. All right, and we'll talk more about this, but again, the main thing to remember is, and especially deleting is where people get in trouble. If you delete a synced file from any device, it's gone from every device, because really you're deleting the one copy that lives up here. Okay, let's keep going. Again, if you need any clarification or have questions, just unmute and ask your question. So let's get specific about iCloud, which is Apple's version of cloud storage. And iCloud is Apple's cloud service umbrella, I call it, because it has several components. It has a backup. So most of the other cloud services don't do backups. Apple does. It makes them somewhat unique. So you can back up your Apple devices to iCloud. You can't back up your Windows laptop, but you can back up your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac, any Apple device. It also does syncing, and you can sync apps. You can sync data. We'll talk about that as well. But you can, by syncing the data from any of these apps, any place you can get to that app, you're sharing the data. Let me go back up to this picture again. So if I'm syncing my app's data lives up here. So if I add a contact on my computer, if I go and look at my contacts later on my phone, I see it because all my data is up here in the cloud if I am syncing my data. So that's another service that Apple provides for things like contacts, calendars, notes, reminders, lots and lots of apps. You can sync your photos, and I highlighted sync here because you are syncing. Again, people get confused. They're on their phone. They delete a picture because they're trying to save space on their phone, thinking it's in the cloud. I can still get to it from my laptop. You can't. If I delete it on my phone, it's gone from the cloud. It's gone from everywhere. And it has something called iCloud Drive, which is really the closest thing to Dropbox or OneDrive. It's where you can sync your documents, your Apple documents, if you use Pages, Numbers, and presentations. And you can also store non-Apple files in there. I can put anything I want to in iCloud Drive. So we're going to go over these 4 different sections. Let me show it as a picture. Sometimes it's easier for people to grasp this way, and we're going to come back to this picture multiple times. So again, iCloud is a term. It's not a product. It's a term used collectively for these 4 different product categories: backups, app syncing, iCloud Drive, and iCloud Photos. So we're going to talk about each one of these individually. We're going to start with backup. That's the easiest one and probably the one that you're most used to. Then we'll get into the more complex ones. So as I mentioned, you can back up any and all of your Apple devices to iCloud. You should be backing up your devices somewhere, especially your phone, but all of them you should be backing up someplace. You don't have to use iCloud. If you're using a different backup service, Carbonite or something like that, and you're perfectly happy with it, you don't have to switch over. But if you're not, iCloud is a good way to do it. That way, if your device is lost, stolen, damaged, you can restore it from iCloud. If you buy a new phone or a new iPad, you can download everything from the old one from your backup in iCloud and take off using it again. So how do you set it up? And we're gonna be using the iPhone today because that's the only Apple device that I have. But a lot of people, I think, have a similar configuration. I've got a Windows computer, but I use an iPhone. If you have an iPad or a Mac, it's similar. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But here's my iPhone, and I'll show you how you can turn on backup. So we're going to go to settings. The settings app looks like this. It's probably not here on your phone. It's probably somewhere up in one of your home screens, but we're looking for the settings app. So I'm going to touch that. Give everybody a second to get caught up with me. Then we're going to touch your name here. So it's the first thing in the settings screen. In fact, you can see here it says iCloud. That's where you're going. So we're going to touch your name. And then we're going to click on iCloud, which should be down at the bottom of the screen. You can see it here. Okay, and we're going to scroll down here. So these are all the different parts of iCloud. We're going to talk about all of these before we're done today. but we're going to scroll down to the one that says backup right here, iCloud backup.
Before you go on, how did you get to the iCloud?
Click
There's
your
an
name.
iCloud backup. Is that what you're on, or are you on the iCloud Drive?
We are on, okay, let me come through again. Watch my screen. So
Okay.
settings,
Yes,
touch your name,
yes, I got that.
touch iCloud.
I have iCloud backup or iCloud Drive.
Okay, you must be on a newer phone. So right here, you've got
I am.
iCloud backup and iCloud Drive. So
Yes.
we're going to be doing iCloud backup for now. So you take
Oh, thank
iCloud
you.
backup.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And anyone else that's on a newer version. I'm on an iPhone 8, so there apparently it's changed in the newest version. Is yours a 12?
It's an 11.
11? Okay. So, because we're going to have to do one more step. We're going to the same place, but we're going to come down here to iCloud backup. So we're going to end up the same place. If you're on an older phone, you got an extra step. But hopefully yours is looking the same at this point.
It is, yes.
Okay, great. So a little different route to the same place. So this is where you can turn backup on. So if this is gray, it means you're not backing up that device, whatever that device is, your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac. So all you have to do to start backing up is to flip this over, and you're now backing up. You also have another option here where it says backup now. That is handy because the way the backup works is and you can see down here the last line here on the screen, last successful backup yesterday at 12:20 p.m. It automatically backs up once a day. You don't have to do anything. It's not at exactly the same time, but it's usually sometime in the middle of the night. But let's say I'm taking my phone in because I cracked the screen and I'm going to have them replace the screen. And I'm afraid they may kill my phone while they're in the process. So before I take it to the service shop to be worked on, I'm going to touch backup now because it's now 1:53. So there's been 12 hours worth of data entered on my phone since that backup. So that gets me a more current backup in case I think something's going to happen. Questions? Now, for the iPad, it's very similar. For the Mac, it's different. And what I'm going to do is put a link in the email that comes out after class. If anybody has a Mac, that'll have instructions for how you can back up your Mac to iCloud. Same concept, but the steps are different. Questions? Okay. All right, so that part was pretty simple. Rest of it is a little more complex. The next thing we're going to talk about is apps. And iCloud syncs all of your devices. So from here on out, we're going to be talking about syncing. That was backups. Everything else today is syncing. And again, just to kind of stress the point that you're saving your stuff in the cloud, and then you're accessing the cloud from all of your Apple devices. I can also get there from a Windows computer somewhere, which is what I'm using today, a Windows laptop. So it doesn't have to be even an Apple device. So multiple ways to get to my synced data that's up here. And one of the first things you want to do is to sync your app data. And so we're going to go back into settings. And we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do this several times so it kind of gets comfortable. We're going to touch your name and touch iCloud. If you never left, we're going right back to where we were. So you're still here. Ignore photos. We'll talk about that later. We're going to look at all these other apps. So for every app in the list, which is every app you've got pretty much, you can decide whether you want to store the data that app collects in the cloud or on your phone. As you can see, mine are all turned on. I have keychain turned off because I don't use keychain. But for me, I don't know any reason why you would not want to store it in the cloud, but Apple gives you that choice. You can turn them on or off. And even third-party apps because all apps store some data. That's a way to take some data off of your phone, move it to the cloud, save that storage space on your phone. Probably even more importantly, it gives you access to this data from all of your devices. And let me demonstrate that. Before I leave here, any questions? I mean, this is pretty straightforward. If it's green, it's storing it in the cloud. If it's, I'll change this one. If it's gray, now it's not storing that data in the cloud.
Isn't there a limit as far as how much data you can put in your cloud?
There's a limit to how much free data you can put in the cloud, and we're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but there's no practical limit in how much you can put up there, but it does start to cost money at some point. These apps typically don't take up a lot of storage. So really the benefit is not so much really in this case, saving storage space, even though on your phone, it can make a difference, but it's getting access to it other places. Let me show an example of that. I'm going to go to iCloud.com and let's use the scenario that I'm at my friend's house and I don't have my phone with me, but I need to get to some of my information. I can just go to his computer and sit down and type in iCloud.com. And it's going to make me log in with my Apple ID and my Apple password. I'm using a password manager, so I don't have to remember my username and password. We do have a class on password managers if you're interested in that. And here's iCloud. And we're going to come back several times to this and talk about different things here. For right now, we're just talking about the apps. So like, for instance, contacts. Maybe I'm at a friend's house and I don't have his contact information and I want to add that to my contacts. I can just go to his computer, come here, go into contacts, enter his information, and then it immediately is accessible on my iPhone and on my computer back home when I get back home. Or if I need to look up something, I'm telling him about something and he wants the information, the phone number, the email address. I could go to his computer, bring this up. I was telling him about how great Katie's airport shuttle is, so I can go into here and just give him that information. There's the phone number you need. It's called Leprechaun Express. Just as an example, but you can do, the point being, all that data is stored in the cloud. So I can get to it from a browser or from any of my other devices. You know, this is showing that flexibility of even if you don't have one of your devices with you, if you've got access to a device with a browser, you can get to your iCloud. Questions? So here's contacts. Here's my mail. If I need to put something on my calendar, I can get to my calendar or check my calendar, etc. So this is the app part. We'll talk about the other parts in a few minutes, but here's notes and reminders. Those are apps as well. All right, I'm going to keep going if everybody's okay with that. So this is the next easiest one. I'm kind of taking them from the easiest ones to the more complex ones. So we talked about backing up. We've talked about the apps themselves, how you can store the app data. Now we're going to talk about iCloud Drive. And this is really the main part of iCloud, especially if you use a Mac and you're using Mac tools. So, and this is let's talk about this one. I got slides. I'm getting ahead of myself on my slides. So iCloud Drive allows you to securely store your files in iCloud and access them from iCloud.com. Like I was just showing you, we'll go into there from your iPhone or your iPad, from your Mac, from any Windows computer. Again, any place you can get to the browser. And iCloud is the most similar to Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive. And that's a little confusing because people confuse iCloud and iCloud Drive. iCloud Drive is a part of iCloud, but iCloud is broader than just iCloud Drive. And that can be a little confusing. I wish they had a different name for it, but that's the name they chose. So we're going to go with that name. So again, you have to enable iCloud Drive. Apple doesn't force you to use it. And it's the same place. If you haven't left, it's the same place we've been. If anyone's left, I can help you get back here. But here's iCloud Drive. So in order, this is like turning on Dropbox. If you want to use Dropbox, you turn it on. If I want to use iCloud Drive, I have to turn it on here. I could still back up my phone. I could back up my apps and not use iCloud Drive if I didn't want to use iCloud Drive. Now let's talk a little bit more about what iCloud Drive is now that you know how to turn it on. And let's go back to the website. This may be the easiest way to envision it. So here's iCloud Drive. So I'm going to click on it. And this is taking me into iCloud Drive. Again, this is a part of iCloud. And this is where you store all your files. You can create file folders here. That's what this icon does, create a new folder. So I created BCC, that's Brunswick Community College. That's where I teach some classes. So this has all my BCC files. These have things I've downloaded. I just created this for another class. If you use Keynote numbers and pages, so if you're an all-in Apple person, Keynote is the same as PowerPoint, numbers is the same as Excel, pages is the same thing as Word. If you use those, it automatically stores your information in that folder, and you can create subfolders in here. If you're a Microsoft person and you know about OneDrive, it works just like OneDrive. In Microsoft, if I create something in Word, it goes into OneDrive. In Apple, if I create something in Pages, it goes into iCloud Drive. I can store things that are not from these apps though. So over here in my BCC files, I've got Word documents, I've got PowerPoint documents. I can put anything I want to in iCloud, just like I can put anything I want to in Dropbox or OneDrive or Google Drive. Works the same way. I can upload anything in here. So if there's something on my device I want to put here in my iCloud Drive under this BCC folder, I just use this upload icon. I'm going to click that. It takes me down to my computer, and I've got a lecture here on my computer in my downloads folder. Maybe I want to put that up there in my BCC folder, so I'll have it for my college class. I just click that and upload it. And there it is. That's the one we just uploaded. It says it was uploaded on, it was created on 4/20/21. So that's now in my iCloud Drive. Similarly, if I want to take something from in here, if I want to take this, this Word document and put it on my local device, I can click the download and I can download it to my local device. So you can add things to OneDrive or OneDrive, iCloud Drive, and you can take things out of iCloud Drive. I can delete it. So I can do all these things from a browser. Again, remember, I'm on a browser. I'm not on my iPad or my iPhone. Anytime I can get to a browser, I can get to my information. Maybe I want to share a file. You remember we talked about that being one of the advantages of having a cloud drive. You can share your documents. So let's say I want to share this. I click here. It's got a picture of a person with a plus. And if you hover over any of these, it'll tell you what it does. This says share file. I'm going to click here. And two ways to share. And if you've done sharing with Google or Microsoft, it works very similarly. I can send an email link, or I can copy a link. I'm going to select email. That's the way most people use it, because they're only sending it to one or two people. I pick my share options. So who can get access to it? Only people I invite, or anybody that has that link. In this case, I'm going to invite people individually. So I don't want anyone except those people to have access to my, my file. And then what can they do with it once they get access? They can make changes, or can they view only? So I can do either. And then I would click share, and it would bring up my iCloud email. So I could send this email to whoever I wanted to send it to. Oops. Okay, didn't mean to do that. Hang on a second. Come back. There we are. I don't want to send that. So. And hang on a second. I think the send. This is what I was trying to do. There it is. The send was hidden. So there's the send button. Now we'll go and send it. Because now it's going to show me that I have shared that file. So I can actually look and see if I've shared any of these files right at the bottom of it and know that there's somebody else working on that file. Questions about how this all works? Let me show you other ways I can get to my data, because that was one of the things. The one advantage was sharing. The other was getting access to it from multiple sources. We talked about already how I can get to it from any device that has a web browser. I can also get to it from my phone. So I'm going to go over here to my apps, and you get to it on your iPhone from files. This is a little confusing, so it doesn't say iCloud. It says files. If you find your files app and touch that, and the reason it doesn't say iCloud is because this app will let you get to files from multiple sources. So I can get to my OneDrive from here. I can get to my Google Drive. I can get to my Dropbox. There's those other 3 services. And I told you I'll use all 3 of them. Or I can go to my iCloud, or I can just get something off of my phone. So files shows you all of your files, not just your iCloud file drive, but that's one of your options. I'll click there, and you can see the same folders that we looked at before. If I go into pages, it has the same documents that we saw before. So I can access my my files from here, just like I could from the cloud. And if you are a Windows person, you can also get to it from File Explorer on Windows. So here's iCloud Drive right here. So here's my OneDrive with all my Microsoft stuff. Here's iCloud Drive, and here's those same folders we were just looking at, the VCC files. There's that consciousness lecture we just uploaded to. There's the keynote, or we were looking at pages. There's the pages, same as the ones over here. So you can get to it from Windows as well. You just have to download the iCloud app from the Windows App Store, and that'll give it you access to it. Questions? We've covered a lot of ground here. Questions? Okay, no questions. We're going to keep going because we got more to cover. Okay, and I've already shown you, I think, everything from here, how you can access files, upload, download, share. Okay. And we talked about files. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is the last piece here, and this is the most complex part, and we saved it for last because there's another whole class that spends an hour talking about iCloud photos, because it is complicated. We're going to cover it very briefly today, but there is another class, and we'll give you a link to that other class as well. That's where we they spend a whole hour talking just about this one part of iCloud. But it's similar to the others. You have to enable it. So let's go back. If you haven't left, we're going to go back to the same place I have. So let me go back to where we were. Go back into settings, touch your name, go to iCloud. And photos is the first option here. This is the last thing we haven't talked about in this list. So this covers the whole list of iCloud stuff. So we're going to, and you can tell from here if it's turned on or not. If you want to change it, you have to click on it. This is how you enable iCloud photos. So if this is great, you don't have iCloud photos enabled, which means all of your photos are being stored on your phone, which means eventually you're probably going to fill up your phone. I think iCloud photos was probably the main driver of why Apple developed iCloud, because you can only put so much storage space on your phones and people keep running out of space. So if you want to turn it on, just like the others, you just slide that over to turn it on. This is where it starts to get complicated. You've got two options. You can optimize phone storage, and I'll read it what it says. It says, if your phone is low on space, full resolution photos and videos are automatically replaced with small device size versions. Full resolution versions can be downloaded from iCloud anytime. Let me try and translate that. So you give Apple permission to kind of control your pictures. If you've got plenty of space, it will keep full-size originals. But as you start to run out of space, what it does is it replaces those full-size versions with essentially a shortcut to the full-size version. You can still see the picture, but it's not full resolution. It's okay to look at and see what you've got there. But if you want the full resolution size, you would have to download it again from the cloud. So the alternative is to download and keep originals. So if I click this option, then it's going to keep all the full-size originals on my phone. But if you take a lot of pictures, that's where you're probably going to run out of space. So most people are forced into this option because they run out of space on their phone, and you really can't increase space on your phone. Questions about that one?
Yes. Under the optimize iPhone storage, it says download and keep originals, and then it says upload to my photo stream, and there's a thing that you could make green there also. Right now mine is gray.
Yeah,
it says
and
upload your last 30 days of new photos and view them on your other devices using my photo stream, etc.
yeah, and Photo Stream is something separate. I don't have that. I know that's on the Mac. It must be on the newer phones. Again, that's why we got another hour-long class. There's lots of options. You got Photo Stream, you've got iCloud, you've got these options, and there's even other options because this is still syncing. Remember, and this is where people get in trouble with their pictures. They're running out of space on their phone, so they start deleting pictures, thinking that it's in the cloud, and they still got a copy. They don't. If you delete it on your phone, you've deleted it from the cloud. It's gone from everywhere.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, there's lots and lots to talk about there. So if you want to store your pictures on iCloud Photos, I would strongly recommend taking that iCloud Photos class. Yeah, Emily.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
This is Emily.
Yeah, go ahead, Emily.
When you talk about line, I couldn't find the line on my desktop, but I found iPage. What is iPage? When I went through the iPage, they want to charge me $1.99 per month. What is iPage for?
Page is I think what you're getting to is the Apple equivalent of Microsoft Word. That's where you can create documents and like Word or like Google Docs. That's Apple's version of Google Docs.
Okay.
If you remember when we were up here, let me go back up here. I don't use it, but go back out here again. Pages, I think that's what it's getting you to. And that is, again, this is the equivalent of Microsoft Word. So Just like you have to pay to get Microsoft Word, I guess you have to pay to get Pages. I don't
It's
use Pages.
$1.99 per month.
Okay, yeah. If you're trying to get to, you couldn't find files. Is that what you're having trouble finding, Emily?
Yes, I don't have file icon on my desktop.
Yeah, let me show you, and then I'll come back. Remind me when we get done here, and I'll show you a way to get to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, because that's everything I'm going to talk about, unless there's any high-level questions, because again, there's lots and lots of questions I know about photos. That's why it's another class.
Oh, I found it. Wait, thank you.
You found it? Okay, all right,
Uh-huh.
good.
Too many icons here.
Yeah. All right. Because I wanted to, somebody asked about this earlier, so I do want to talk about managing your storage. So if you're still here, just back up one, back to this screen we've been to. Anybody need me to come in from the start again to get here? Okay, is everybody okay? So this is your, this is that first screen we came to that has everything. What it has here is a little diagram showing you how much space you're using. It tells you here as well. I'm using 2.2 gigabytes of the 5 gigabytes that Apple gives me for free. So I'm in pretty good shape. This tells me what is taking up most of my space. Backups is taking up a large portion of it, and then photos, messages, and then everything else is kind of minimalized. If I want to manage my storage, touch manage storage right underneath that picture. And it gives me the same picture again. But what it does over here, it actually goes down and shows me these things in even more detail. It tells me exactly how much backups are taking, exactly how much photos are taking, how much messages is taking. So these are all the different things and how much space they're taking up. Now, if this said I'm using 4.8 of my 5 gigabytes, I know I'm getting in trouble. I'm just about to run out of space. So what I can do is change my storage plan. It's just like changing your cell phone plan. So I'm going to touch this. And here's my current plan, 5 gigabytes for free. I can go up to 50 gigabytes for $1 a month. To me, that's a bargain. So I can go from 5 to 50, have a ton more space, and it only costs me $1 a month. So instead of going, my alternative is to go into here and start deleting things, finding stuff, finding photos I can delete, finding messages I want to delete. For $1 a month, I'm going to say, forget about it. Bump me up to this plan, and you just touch this plan to upgrade. And now I've got 50 gigabytes. If I run out of that, I can go up to 200 gigabytes for $3 a month. That's cheaper than Netflix. Or you can get 2 terabyte, which is 2,000 gigabytes for $10 a month. Which is why I was saying, for all practical purposes, you're never going to run out of storage space in the cloud. It's not free, but it's pretty inexpensive. Very few people get up to this level. If you take lots of videos and lots of pictures, you could blow through 200 gigabytes potentially, but it's not very common. Questions? Okay. I think that's the last thing I was going to go over. It is, let me just open it up for any related questions. We got a minute or two for questions. If there's anything you want me to go back over again that you didn't quite get the first time. Okay.
When you had access iCloud photos, your notes on that, do you have the notes still
Yes.
for how to get there? And then there's a default. Yeah, okay, that's what I needed. Default. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, this is one, a lot of people get the recording of this one because we do cover a lot of complex material here. So if you want to get the recording, watch it again, that is fine. And a lot of people take this class more than once, which again is totally acceptable as well. You're allowed to take the same class as many times as you like. I always say this class is never the same twice in a row because there's different questions asked each time I teach it. So it takes it down a little different route every time answering questions. So if you kind of got it, but you're not quite sure, feel free to sign up and take it again. Right. So if there's no other questions and it's time to move on anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and move to the closing. And this is the end of the official class. We do have some closing material to go over, but I do want to thank you for attending and hope you enjoyed it and learned some things about iCloud. And also, if you're a social media person and if you want to share your experiences on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, please tag us on those messages and we will like the messages as well. If you want to share your experience on social media, but you don't do social media, you can send us an email, send it to liz@getsetup.io, and we will post that for you. There's some related classes. I'm going to go over those classes when I get into our website, so I can show you on the website how to find some of the other classes here that I've talked about. But I'll go ahead and call this one out in case somebody needs to leave early. Understanding the cloud is really typically a precursor to this course. We've just come up with this class. I think it's been taught once. So this is a new class. So what this one does though, is it talks about the four main sources, iCloud, OneDrive, Microsoft Drive, Dropbox, compares and contrasts them, and goes over some of the basics of clouds. So that's another good class if you want to get a little more grounded in the basics. So after class, you're going to get an email, and the email has several sections to it. There's a class notes section, and this one has several notes, and there are several links to other websites that have information that both review and amplify the information we talked about in class. There's a way to recommend the class to a friend. You can click here and post a link on Facebook, or you can send a link via email, whichever you're more comfortable doing. There'll be links to 3 classes that you might want to take. Just click on one of those links and it'll take you to the registration page. The Give Feedback link will open the feedback form. Very quick feedback, only 2 questions. How do you want to rate the class? 1 to 5 stars. How do you want to rate the guide? 1 to 5 stars. There's areas for comments. We certainly hope you'll add comments as well. And we hope you're enjoying being part of the Get Set Up community. And if you are, there's other ways you can get more active. You can host an interest group. We're starting to develop interest groups for the tech areas. So for instance, we don't have an interest group around cloud storage. So if you want to be part of or host that interest group where you can get together with other learners, talk about things you're doing in the cloud, problems you're having, questions, how other people are dealing with things, just let us know, help@getsetup.io. If there's a class you'd like us to offer that you can't find out there, let us know. Or if there's an organization you know about that you think would be a good partner for us, just send us that information. A name and phone number would be great, but at least the name of the organization, and we'll track it down. Help it get set up for all those things, as well as requesting a copy of the recording. The last link is View Schedule, which will take you to our website where you can book another class. I'll show you a couple of new things that are fairly recent to make sure you found them. View My Complete Schedule. If you click that, it takes you to all the classes you've already booked. From there, you can launch when it's time to take the class. You don't have to keep those emails. You can launch straight from here, or you can cancel a class. If you are looking for a particular class, I think the easiest way to find it is just to search by keyword. So if you want to see other things about cloud, here's that Apple iCloud Basics that we just took. Here's the Understanding the iCloud class that I just mentioned. This is kind of a basics class that compares the other ones. Here's Dropbox, OneDrive Basics. And if we're looking for iCloud Photos, there's the iCloud Photos Basics class. So if you want to dig deeper into that photos part, I'll click on that one. And if you ever get a notify me, what that means is that this class isn't available to book right now, but it will be. We only schedule classes about 2 weeks out. And I think this class we do every second or third week. So it will be up later. So if you click notify me, we'll send you an email when you can book it with a link to book it, instead of having to come back and keep checking to see, is it available yet? Is it available yet? So that's what notify me does. If there's a guide or several guides that you like and you want to see what they're teaching, you can now do that. This is one of the things that people have asked for a long time. So I'll put my name here and click enter. It shows you the classes that I'm going to be teaching for the next couple of weeks. It's in chronological order. So there's the class we're in right now. And then it shows you other classes that I'm teaching. So to book a class, all you have to do is just click on the class you want to take.
For the
And
notify me, do they email you when it's ready? Or
yes,
when-
they'll email you with a link to the registration page. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
good, good. Thank you.
So from that email, you can just click the link and it'll take you straight to the registration page.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's very handy. One last thing I want to show you here that is new. If you book a class, we've added a new thing. This was last week. We added this. You can invite a friend to the class. So this is for that future class you're going to take. If there's somebody that you think would enjoy the class and you like to be in the same class so you can see each other, maybe talk about it after class, you can click invite a friend, put their email address here, and it'll send them an email. Or you can get a link and put it in your own email and send it out via your own email, whichever way you'd rather do it. Last thing I want to show you, and we're in good shape to get you out of here on time. I mentioned we're live streaming this class. This is where I'm talking about the Get Set Up TV is over here. It says TV in the bottom left-hand corner. I'll click onto that. It's probably going to take me into my class. Get Set Up TV is over here. And there it is. So that always sort of freaks me out. So it's like watching TV. The guide that doesn't know that you're there. The guide can't see you. You can't talk to the guide, but you can watch the class. It's handy to maybe preview a class you think you may want to take and see if you want to take it or not. Or if you just got a half hour free and you just want to go and see what's on Get Set Up, just like you want to check in and see what's on TV. That's why we call it TV. There's always something broadcast there. So just click on this TV link. And the last thing I'll mention is the question usually comes up. We're still working on getting the list back of the classes you've already taken. That is being worked on. It will be back. It's turning out to be more complicated than we thought, but that will be an update that we'll make. And as soon as that's available, I'll be showing that to the classes as well. Any questions about the website? Booking classes, managing classes? Okay. All right. If not, that wraps us up. I do want to thank you for attending. Hope you enjoyed the class and certainly hope I see you again in another class really soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a great afternoon.
Wait, just wait for a minute. I'm helping Ellen in setting up her account. So just bear for 2 minutes.
Sure. Okay. Yep. Everybody else can leave. Thanks. I'll leave the class open.
Wait, I request you to see the chat.
What's that?
I request you to see the chat. I've sent you a private message.
Okay. Okay, so you need to get back in. Hang on, I'm going to stop the recording. All right, hang on. So can you hear me, Ellen? So you should be able to just say forgot password and create a new password. Otherwise, what you'd have to do is to somehow create a new Apple account. So it's really not iCloud, that is your Apple ID. And I'm not sure how that works. Probably the safest thing for you to do would be just to call Apple support and get them to help you with any type of account issues. I see your account was hacked.
She used her Yahoo account to make an Apple account, and she has lost her Yahoo account, and she wants to get back into her Apple account with a new email. And I don't know if it's possible, but I think it is not, because if you want to reset her password, an email will be sent to her old Yahoo account.
Yeah, this is way over my head in terms of how you would do that. So I think she needs to contact Apple support and get them to help her.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, John.